Hello, and welcome to our latest episode of What's on the Horizon. I'm Lori Sharonbrock, and I'm here with Chris Shooker of Digital Horizons. And today I want to talk about kind of what you guys do at your core. I mean, I think when people think home automation, they think, oh, everything in the wall, we're making this uber modern, and, looking at the Experience Center, which is amazing to sit in here. But really, what are the most common jobs that you guys take on?
So we do a lot of different things, and in some homes we do all of them.
Sure.
But in most we only do a couple or offer a couple of our services. If you were to look at just pure quantity based, the majority of what we do is installing TVs, installing home theater systems, just home like media systems, surround sound, that type of thing. The majority of the homes that we do something in, we'll do at least like networking and Wi-Fi.
Sure.
We might install a couple surveillance cameras. But the bulk of what we do at minimum is we're really good at installing TVs and entertainment systems, audio systems, and networking is probably the bulk of it. If you were to look at just on a day-to-day basis, that's what we do. I'm just thinking about the last couple weeks, how many just people wanting TVs installed, and not in easy ways.
Sure.
I mean, they can be just as something as simple as being installed on the wall, on a tilt mount with components behind it, your cable box, your Apple
Sure.
TV, making sure the wires are concealed, to something that's more complicated, like installing a TV in a cabinet with a false back and fishing HDMI cables down for components located down below, and that type of thing. So we have an extensive amount of experience installing TVs in lots of unique areas and environments, and that's probably the thing that we do the most. We're a Sony dealer. We provide lots and lots of Sony televisions. They're really supportive of us. They allow us to service things and take care of stuff.
Yep.
And when we sell Sony TVs, we offer the same price that Costco. Costco doesn't have the full range of Sony products,
Sure.
but if they have it, it's the same price there as Best Buy, as Amazon, wherever you go. So there's no reason not to have us provide it, especially if we're installing it,
Sure.
because then you only have one place to call with questions or anything like that. And then some sort of audio tied to it, a sound bar of some nature, basic surround sound. Those are really the core things that we do, and then it just expands from there based on the scope of what our involvement is.
And kind of getting at what you just said, they don't have to purchase something from you. They can call you and say, oh, we got a 65-inch Samsung something. Can you install that?
Yeah.
You guys do that.
We do, yeah. It's generally our recommendation that what we install comes from us.
Yep.
Primarily because it becomes really messy if it doesn't.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is we don't like to put ourselves and our customers in the position of the finger pointing scenario.
Yes.
And that was actually one of the primary reasons that we started doing and providing security systems over 3 years ago, is because, well, it's been a little bit more than that, but either way, is because when we were involved in a project where another vendor was offering security systems, and there's great alternatives in our area for that, we were often requested to integrate their services into our systems, and most of the time it worked out well.
Yeah.
But when it didn't, and it wasn't our problem or wasn't our solution to fix, we had to say, I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, this is, you have to call them to come out. And then they would say, well, there's no way it's us, and be reluctant, or maybe they weren't and they were helpful, but that became a sticking point. But then also on the coordination side of things, especially if it's a contractor or somebody like that orchestrating the project, it was one less vendor for them to have to reach out to provide that service.
Yes.
So when we can, it is best for us to provide it. There's almost no reason for that not to occur. The other side of it too, especially when it comes to TVs, if you have it just receiving a new television, because sometimes it comes on a freight truck, and People don't know what to look for damage. They don't know how much of a
Yes.
window they have to open the box up, make sure the TV works, take on that responsibility of orchestrating a response if something is bad, the time to get a replacement, the phone calls, the emails. That's all on us. That's our
That's
burden to
huge.
bear when we provide it. And then the other side of it for us to provide everything is if we're expected to deliver on performance or functionality at the
Yeah.
end, we choose the manufacturers and the products that they offer for very specific reasons. And if somebody wants to provide something outside of that, that takes us out of our, now we're very adaptable, but it takes us out of our comfort zone.
Sure.
And if it changes what's involved, we can no longer deliver our desired results sometimes.
Yeah.
So there are times that we do push back and want to provide our stuff. It's never been a case where we walk away from something, but we're not in the business of installing other people's systems. We're in the business of installing a Digital Horizons system, and that's
Sure.
what people get to know us for.
So, in terms of getting started with you, you know, is it where you guys go out and do an initial consultation in the home, see, you know, the space that they want to put something in? Or is it, you know, they just call up and they're like, hey, can you order us a TV and a sound and you'll just be right out? How does that work?
Both. Yeah, it works both ways. So, for example, a couple weeks ago, I had a new customer reach out to us. In about a year, they're planning on building a new home, but they bought a piece of property with a couple cabins on it, and they wanted
Sure.
some TVs. And through a couple emails and a phone call, he was able to send me some pictures of the spaces he wanted TVs.
Sure.
It was, one of them was a 100-year-old cabin. We weren't sure how they were going to get power up the wall, because with homes that old,
Oh, yeah.
and with the vertical paneling they had, there was likely to be blockers in the wall to prevent that. But we coordinated with us, the contractor, the electrician. We brought out 2 new Sony OLED TVs with a couple different mounts to accommodate a couple different scenarios. We met him out there that morning, discussed our options, took care of it along with a few other things that he wanted done. And then alternatively, we can go out and we can check things out in person if we feel it's necessary. In that case, it wasn't. But in a lot of instances it is, and we can, you know, about a month and a half or so ago, we had a new customer to us call us, and they were planning some outdoor landscaping. They sent us some plans, they sent me some pictures, and my initial gut reaction was that there has to be a better way of doing this than what they wanted.
Sure.
I'm not going to outright tell them that, because I want to see it and, you know, look at
Yes.
the environment. And when we visited, there was an alternative that one half of their partnership was not receptive to, but needed some reassuring that it would
Sure.
work and would be a better solution. And by us visiting, reviewing it, discussing it, we were able to come up with a better alternative, and they were much happier with it in the end. And it does make sense to do those on-site
Sure.
visits on a lot of occasions, but not all.
So, I might be a little bit biased, but it sounds like it's pretty easy to work with you.
I hope so.
Well, you know, and I mean, I think that's one of the advantages of using a technology integrator, a solution like this, is that you don't just have to figure it out yourself. Like, I
Yeah.
really like what you said about that you can take on that responsibility
Right.
for a homeowner.
Yep.
Because I know how frustrating that is, and having to call when a cabinet was damaged. We redid our kitchen.
Yeah.
And like just the absolute nightmare of dealing with that. Like the thought of someone else taking
Right.
on that responsibility
Yep.
is almost worth any other price I would have to
Right.
pay. And then to hear like it actually doesn't really cost you anything different.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know why
Well,
anyone would make a different choice personally.
There's kind of a way we like looking at it, which is not, it doesn't always happen to this extreme, but we blend technology with architecture.
Sure.
And so we know homes and businesses and how technology can be a part of those spaces in ways that most people don't, especially not consumers. So we have a different way of looking at things based on our experience. I've been in this industry for 15 years. My partner's been in it almost 30, 25. Our other 2 technicians have, or 3 now, have, you know, 20 to 30 years of experience amongst themselves. We have a lot of time dealing with homes and businesses and all of these spaces that we work in, and it's what we do every single day, and we have really good insight to provide that is just part of what we do. and the end result is, you know, kind of a solution that's often very unique and just kind of, to us, common sense.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's a really important point, is that you have that perspective because you do it every day. Like you said, kind of with that previous homeowner, you knew there probably was a better solution.
Yeah.
And so being able to see that and
Yes.
explain it and talk through it, that's a really valuable service to provide to a homeowner, in addition to the, you know, just the regular 9 to 5 work you're going to do
Right.
in the home.
Yes.
Is adding that value as someone who's been in the industry for a long time, to say you actually don't want to do that because
Right.
it's going to cost you more in the end.
Yes.
You're going to run into problem XYZ. I think that's a really important point to make, and why it's important to work with you.
Yeah.
So, like we kind of mentioned, people can call you,
Correct.
get started that way, can have you come do a consultation,
Mhm.
visit your website.
Yep.
Anything else we're missing on that? Like the easiest way to work with you?
Yeah, just our website's a great resource. You know, we're constantly updating it. We usually have a lot of pictures of the work that we
Yep,
do.
yep.
We have a lot of really neat videos aside from this one, of course,
Yep.
on our YouTube page that show
Yep.
the type of stuff that we do, the environments that we work in, and yeah, we love to hear from anybody that's looking for help.
Yep, and follow them on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to the
They're
YouTube.
already following,
Yeah, I'm
right?
sure they already are, because they're good technology users.
Yeah.
If you're a contractor or you know, in that service industry, we have a great LinkedIn profile for you to come take a look at.